Hey, Rich,
Hey, Michael.
and welcome everybody to BitPunch Radio, episode 060. This is the Plague Cast. I think we're both battling something here, but hey, we've got the Game Awards to talk about. I've been catching up on games on the Steam Deck. I did a little traveling, talk about that. Um, Looks like you're finally getting around to Andor. I've heard so much good things about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like thinking that I might try and get my son into that. Um, we've got some Cosmere updates, and yeah, let's get into it. What do you want to start with?
Um, Man, I finished Oathbringer.
Okay, all right.
uh, yeah. So I think last episode I was about 80%
You
in.
were
I was like,
really, really close. Yeah,
I was right at the beginning of the the Sanderlanche. Uh,
I say you were really
his
close, but you were like a full novel away
right.
from the end. So
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was right where he starts to just let everything loose and all hell breaks loose. And I was like live texting you as I was reading it, like over 2 or 3 days as I was reading that ending,
yeah,
which is just absolutely bananas. I mean, like I think I started texting you at the point where there's gonna be spoilers for this, by the way, where
okay.
Elhokar dies. Fucking Moash kills Elhokar. I was like, and like right as he's starting to say the first ideal, and like he's starting to maybe turn into like a radiant.
Right.
And I was just like, man, because like his character has like a really like good arc. You go from fucking hating that guy to like,
Yes. Right.
he's trying to do something. Like he's pretty shitty, but he's trying to do things right now.
Like when he's sworn to Dalinar, it was kind of like, okay, all right.
Yep. Yep. Um, Man, this book was just all about people taking responsibility for like their shortcomings.
Hmm.
That's what I took away from this book. Like taking like owning their flaws. That's with the three major characters being Dalinar. This book is all about his backstory, and man, does he do some fucked up shit in his
Yeah.
past. And then you have Kaladin, who is just constantly, um, emotional and uh, fighting with the idea of like saving everybody and protecting everybody.
Mm.
Then you have Shallan, who's like borderline schizophrenic.
Oh,
Like she
oh
doesn't know
yeah.
who she wants to be. And they're all like trying to come to grips with this. And that's like what that book is about. And in all these books are kind of that way. These three books have been about like a theme, if you will, that kind of that go along with the story. Um, and that's kind of the big arc for Dalinar. Is he's like, no, I'm going to like take responsibility for what I did, and I'm gonna like own it.
Mm.
Like, that was his moment where he kind of made his next step. Yeah, I've never read a book quite like that where at the end of that book where it's like it's telling this big battle and this big story and it's switching between viewpoints. You've got Yasna, you've got Renarin, you've got Navani and Shallan and like all these. There's like 8 different viewpoints in that ending that it keeps
In that,
bouncing between.
in like within a chapter or two, right?
Yes, and it's all in like one chapter.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, two or
Right.
three chapters. It's like, yeah, the I was listening to that ending on Audible, and like there was a chapter that was 2 hours long, and I think that was the one.
Yeah.
And it's just bouncing between everybody's viewpoints during this kind of same battle. You've got Lift and you've got Zeth. Zeth fucking turncoats, and he's with Dalinar now and the fucking Radiance. Uh, that was crazy.
Which they kind of like, yeah, they brought up his character a lot in this book, which I which
Yeah,
I which I liked.
yes,
Um, it's cool when they do that, which it's not often, but
yeah. It was a really really fantastic book. I really liked it. He does a really good job of spending those first 1,100 pages like setting like burying all these seeds and like setting up these little things. and you start to think you know what's going to happen, and then he like flips it 180s, and then like he cashes all those checks just one right after another, and you're just like, whoa, 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 whoa,
Right.
whoa, just one thing after another, and he just ties it right all together, and it's just very satisfying after like and stuff from like even like back to the first book. Like there was a reveal at the end of this book about Taravangian. Like through these first three books, he's had this ability where he just wakes up and he's a fucking genius. And he can like see the future, and he's like writing down all this stuff like on the walls and on his furniture and stuff. And then some days he wakes up and he's just dumb.
Right.
And you come to find out that the reason why he's like that is because he went to the Night Mother, the same place that Dalinar went to forget about his wife and what he did. And Taravangian went there and was like, I want to be fucking super smart. And his curse was, well, sometimes you're going to be really stupid. And like throughout these first three books, you don't know why he's like that. And then
Right.
this book, it like cashes that check because there's a whole like backstory about Dalinar going to see cultivation and basically like, yeah, I want to forget about all that stupid shit I did or that terrible shit I did. Like, okay, well, yeah, if you can do that, but your curse is that you're not going to remember any of it. Like
Mhm.
you're like she's gone. Like you're not going to remember your wife. You're not going to remember her name. Like that's your curse. And so for that to like tie back into Taravangian was really it's like that's one of his things. It's like really really good writing in my opinion.
I think I
Um
brought that up in our last episode when it was just like you can tell he planned all this out. Like,
oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you don't write 4,000 pages of something and know like, okay, I want to like call back this little thing. Like the amount of planning. I mean, he's been doing this for, you know, he's on TikTok now. So like now I get like little bits of Sanderson throughout the day, you know.
Yep.
And he, you know, he talks about how he's been planning this for he just hit 20 years or something as a published author. And he's been planning the Stormlight Archives for like over a decade now, even
Yeah.
before he started writing it.
Right.
So it's just it's I couldn't think to do something like that. Like that is so beyond the level of thought that I've ever put into anything, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I constantly think about that. Like he's like just all the interactions with everybody and like how does he write this stuff? Like, how does he think about this stuff?
Right.
Like he really gets into these characters and really makes every character is very very unique. And I think he does a really good job of like bringing in like lightheartedness.
Yes.
Like that last, 20% of that book is very serious. Like a lot of
Sure.
stuff's happening with a lot of characters that you care about. Um,
Like I love when Shalon has fun with the people around her, you know?
right.
Like she's a really cool character.
She's yes. Her whole uh spiel where she's trying to figure out who she wants to be between like Radiant and
Mhm.
what's the other character that she plays? Or that she becomes the one with the hat, and I can't remember the name now. Um, oh gosh, it's gonna drive me crazy. Anyway, she's like trying to figure out which version of herself she wants to be, and she's like talking to Wit. She has like a great conversation with
Mhm.
Wit about all that stuff. Um, yeah, I think I really like I the Wit stuff is still like some of my favorite stuff in those books. And Lift, like anytime Lift shows up, like he's like on his A game. Like during that last battle, like it's switching between all those viewpoints, and it's like, oh no, oh god, Amaram just swallowed this thing, and he's a fucking Voidbringer now, and
Right.
Kaladin's fighting him, and then oh well, Dalinar just literally pulled like three realms together with his fucking fists, and then it switches, and it's like Lift became awesome, and then it's like okay, like
Yeah.
it's just like her and it's like her and Zeth are like the ultimate buddy cop movie. Like he's like super like serious and like super self-aware, and she's just like, okay, tight butt, let's go. Like
Right.
what's
Yeah.
going on? Like she's like talking to his sword. Like the sword tried to eat her. Like it's like
Yeah, I forgot about that.
all
Yeah.
that's like all that stuff is like really just man, she just knocked it out of the park. Really, Really liked Oathbringer. It's a super long book, um, but it definitely pays off. Definitely pays off. Um, so I finished that, and I remembered that there's a novella in between uh,
Yeah.
Oathbringer and Rhythm of War. So I started reading that immediately.
Oh, I have not
Um,
read that yet.
yeah, so that's called Dawn Shard.
Okay.
So it's much much shorter. It's actually about Rissyn, the trader that's now in the wheelchair. She's mentioned a little bit in Oathbringer,
Hmm.
and she's got that bird that can like suck stormlight out of stuff. Um,
Oh.
it's about her and Lopin. Her and Lopin go on like a ship adventure,
Oh,
like to
okay.
an island, which is so far been very good. Lopin's a great character,
Yeah.
and it's hilarious because in this you get a lot of Lopin in this, and everybody refers to him as the Lopin. It's just like, yeah, he's a pretty good character. So I started reading that. I'm gonna get through that, and then I'm gonna take a break from Stormlight, read something else. Um,
What are you
I
gonna
did.
read? Because January
I don't
1st,
know.
you're gonna get
I know. Yeah,
the secret
the
book
first secret
one.
project. Yeah, I know. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about reading Red Rising.
Hmm.
Um, that's probably what it's gonna be, honestly. Um, I don't know. We'll see. That's kind of high up there. Everybody says that I should read that,
It's
so I wanna
fantastic.
I wanna give that a try.
And it's
Um,
like sci-fi, so it's a little bit different.
right. Yeah. I did also grab the Dune graphic novel number 2.
Hmm.
I think it's called I think the title is Maudib. Not sure how to pronounce that. It's the follow-up to the one that we read 2 years ago.
Right.
That was like it's like the beginning. That first one was like the first third of Dune, and I think this is like the second third of Dune. And then there's going to be another volume in the spring of 2024. They're taking 2 years to make these things, which is seems like a time that's never going to be here. Um,
I I figure they would maybe benefit off of like publishing it closer to the movie, you know.
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
second Dune movie the second half of the book, or are they doing like a quarter thing as well?
I'm not 100% sure. I thought there was only going to be 2 movies,
Oh, okay.
so I could be wrong there. You never know with that stuff.
Mm.
Um, but I really like that graphic novel. I like both those graphic novels. The art in them is really good. Um, of what I know of I never read the actual book Dune, so I don't know how much it cuts out. Um, but it's pretty good. I think it does a good job of written pretty well. And I just really like the art. I like that world. Um, I should read Dune at some point, probably. Um, yeah, I don't know. I liked it. Looks good on the bookshelf. It's a good read. It's a quick read. It was a nice palate cleanser after Oathbringer. Um,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
I've
That
missed
was
so many comics this year. Like
yeah,
Polygon published, here's the top comics of the year, and I want to go through and like bookmark some of those. And um, I don't know about you, but I love looking at like the winners on Goodreads.
yeah,
The Goodreads website like drives me crazy. Like it's a terrible website. I love the
yeah.
concept though. I love using it to like track my books, but I don't know why Amazon won't go through and redesign it. It's been that design forever. Like they need to bring it up. But anyway, I love going and looking at like what won for the year. And I will say like Sanderson books never win. They're never high. They just
Oh,
he's got his audience that is slowly growing always. Um, but like a year of that like Red Rising would come out, that would have blown it out of the water, which is crazy to me. But
right.
um, I'm mixing those genres, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't remember what book won it from the fantasy series this year, but um,
Uh,
I
it
like.
was it was House of the Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Moss.
Okay, so that is a sequel to Crescent City, which is a very
Okay.
popular series. Sarah Moss is she's pretty far up there. Um, but yeah, like if you like Lost Metal got voted, but it did not win at all.
Right.
Um, but I like going through there and then kind of saying like I want to read these books, um, which is pretty nice, pretty cool little thing that they do.
Yeah.
Um, so I finished Hero of Ages.
Oh boy. Okay.
So um, I really liked that book. I really like that series. I really just want to jump right into Mistborn, like era 2.
Yeah.
Um, I, I keep forgetting what the secret book 1 is. Um, but I
I know
read
it's
it.
a Cosmere book, but I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah. I want to jump right into it. I actually got it like wait listed on Libby. So as soon as it comes through, I'm jumping on that thing. Um, it really cool. I like how it wrapped up. I don't know if I really want to get into too many spoilers, but I will say like the very end was like really sad. Like
Oh my god, man. Yeah.
just
It's
I
super
just
sad.
picturing the scene that he kind of set there, I was just like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
Um yeah, really yeah, good book. Um I did start reading Fairy Tale by Stephen King. You
Okay.
read many Stephen King books lately?
I've read like the first 3 or 4 books of the Dark Tower series. That's my all my experience with Stephen King,
Oh
which
my
I know is
gosh,
nothing, which I know
really?
is nothing because he puts out a book every 3 weeks. Like I
Well,
that's what
that
I've read.
and he's known for like, the horror genre, and
Right.
the gunslinger is definitely not. And this book is not either. This book is more like a um it is a fairy tale. It is about this high school kid taking care of this old man that got injured, him and his older dog, and um they get connected, and series of events happens. He ends up discovering this shed that can transport you to like a fairy tale. And a light spoiler here, but old man with an old dog, obviously something's about to happen to this dog. um he finds out that he can actually help save the dog's name is Radar. He can help save this dog's life if he travels through this world. It's, you gotta kind of just go with it. It's one of those books like should this high school kid have done this? No, absolutely not. But it's just part of the story. But it's weird because it takes about it's like 33% into the book before it even hits this. The first third of
Mhm.
the book, you're really just it's really building on this relationship um, between this man and this high school kid Charlie, and then like his dad as well. Like Charlie's dad is a big character in it as well, and then the dog Radar. But um, yeah, definitely interesting. Like once it gets into this fairy tale and like meeting all the people that are in this fairy tale and like the different things that are wrong with them or what makes them unique. But I'm about halfway through uh that book now, and I'm really enjoying it. Um, excuse me. Um, yeah, I guess that's really all I got to say about that. Um, there's what is the name of the book that I have to read after the Hero of Ages before I jump into um the second era? Like I sent you a picture
Um
of it because it was at that bookstore, and you were like, "Don't look at anything in that."
oh boy, I don't oh, it was Mistborn um it's the Mistborn like Lost Stories or something or Secret Mystery, Secret History of Mistborn. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, don't read that. I think you can read that now.
okay, you read it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
feel like it spoiled something for you?
It would have if if I read it after or like before before I finished Hero of Ages,
Okay. Okay.
because
Yeah.
it talks about ruin. It talks about like now like the things that ruin can do, um,
Right. Yes.
things like that. Like that going back to Hero of Ages, like that
Sure.
was one of my favorite parts of that. Is when you were telling me like, oh, she just got locked up and she's locked up, and that's where I stopped, and I was like, oh man, some shit's about
Oh
to
yeah.
happen. And like the next chapter, like she starts hearing Reen in her head again, and then you come to find out that the whole time that Reen is in her head, it's actually Ruin. It's not her
Right.
fucking brother talking to her. It's
Yeah.
this fucking
Reen's her brother.
god.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, yeah. She thinks it's her brother, like in his. She thinks it's like part of her psyche, but really, it's it's Ruin, like the other god of this planet. Um, and then you come to find out the only reason he can do that is because she's been wearing this earring that
That
Brandon
earring.
Sanderson's
Yeah.
been talking about for fucking 3 books, and you're
Yeah.
just now putting together at the end. Like that was one of those like bam, like he nailed
Hmm.
that right on top of the head.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. But yeah, it talks about Ruin, it talks about Kelsier, like the stuff that Kelsier did, like leading up to the first Mistborn.
Kelsier's in this
Um,
book quite a bit.
that
Kind
he
of.
is, that he is,
Yeah.
yes, in a roundabout way, he very much is. Um, yeah, yeah, that was the other book. It's a little small little book too.
I loved that people started thinking of Kelsier as like this god. I thought
That
that
was his
was really
whole yeah,
cool.
that was his whole plan.
And then the whole thing with like the fact that the Lord Ruler and like what he was actually doing is, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I'll never forget, and I know we talked about this on the podcast, but that first scene when you meet the Lord Ruler from the first book, and it's
Yep,
just like this evil motherfucker. And
yep.
then like throughout the book you're just like, "Oh wait." Not maybe not necessarily, you know.
Yeah, that's through that second book. Yeah, at the end of that first book, you're like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
And then he at his line at the end of the first book is like, you have no idea of like what you're about to do
Right.
by killing me, and they just think they're getting rid of this shitty dude. When then yeah, then it spends 2 books revealing like, yeah, he wasn't necessarily a great guy, but he was trying to help
Yeah.
everybody.
Yes.
He was doing the best he could with what he had. And then you find out that he's like, the reason why there's ash everywhere is because he literally moved the planet too close to the fucking sun and then had to move it back. Like when he took the power at the well, and like all that stuff is just bananas. Like
Yeah.
all there's so much depth to that series, that those 3 books. It's you could talk about it for hours and hours and
Yeah.
hours. There's so much depth there with everything that happened. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Um, do you think you'll start the secret book when it comes out, or are you gonna wait?
Um, man, I don't know. We'll have to see. I can't remember what. Let's see here, Rand Sanderson. I can't remember which one it is.
Okay, while you're looking that up, I seen a TikTok from him, and he said he hit 100,000 on
Yeah.
Stormlight 5, and
Yep.
he said, which is, you know, a big thing, but it's only like a quarter of the book. So he's like, he did say each of the secret novels are about 100,000
Right.
words,
Yep.
which is what, a 300 to 400 page book, right?
Right.
Kind of
Yeah.
roughly. So
Yep. So the first secret project is the title of it is Tress of the Emerald Sea. It's a tale of pirates, dangerous spores, and occasionally self-important monologues because it has Hoyt in it because it's about the Cosmere. So
okay,
yeah, so that I think 3 out of the 4 secret projects are based in the Cosmere. I think one isn't.
oh,
So this one is. So this one might have some crossover maybe.
interesting. Okay.
See, yeah, yeah. I I probably will. I would like to get through Red Rising first if I jump into that.
Oh, sure.
Um,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I don't think Red Rising's super long.
No, I think it's like 600 pages, 600
Oh,
pages.
it's that long. Okay, I wasn't expecting that long, but
I mean, dude, I just I just I just plowed through Oathbringer in like 3 weeks. Red
yeah,
Rising's
true.
nothing.
Right,
Like I'm
true.
ready. Yeah, I'm ready.
All
Let's
right.
see.
What have you been playing?
Man, not a lot. I've been kind of busy over the last weekend. Um, I was kind of been trying to figure out what I want to play next. I was kind of scrolling through my Steam library and
Yeah.
nothing really hitting. And I wanted something chill to play, so I loaded up Astroneer because
Mm.
they had a bunch of big updates. I'm like, let me get in there and mess around. So I messed around in there for like an hour. Um, yeah, I still don't know what I'm gonna play next. I did see there's some new quests in the new Witcher
Hmm.
thing that launched today, the next gen upgrade. Maybe I'll go and like try to get to those quests. Um,
They're based on the show, right?
I think so. Yes. Yes. I'll probably download that and kind of see what it looks like because I think they upgraded the PC version too. It'd be interesting to see
I'm
what
not
that looks
hearing
like.
great things about that right now.
Yeah. I it I think I saw something about it wasn't running great, which
Yeah.
isn't a shocker. Uh, a lot of PC games that are launching right now are running like crap.
Right.
Um, Callisto Protocol ran really, really badly on PC when it launched. Um, the Dark Tide 40K game launched pretty rough.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
have that
Um,
installed, but
they've been patching both those games. I think Callisto Protocol's in a much better place. Um, Callisto Protocol was so bad, Digital Foundry was like, "Don't buy this game. Just
wow.
this game is broken. Do not buy this game on PC."
Dang.
Um, Dark Tide was a little better, um, but yeah, yeah. So I haven't figured out what I'm gonna play next. We'll see.
Are you
What
playing
am I
Call of
playing?
Duty?
Nope. I kind of fell off that.
Okay.
Not really playing that a whole lot. Um,
Did you play
I don't
through
only
that
play that with
story?
certain people. I started to. I haven't finished it. I probably
Uh,
should go back and finish that. Probably
yeah.
not very long. I was like 3 missions into it, so
Mm.
it wasn't grabbing me though. Wasn't grabbing me like that other one.
Mm.
So I don't know.
I will go back and play that at some point.
I think I feel like it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to really dig that one. Not many of the ones around it, but that one
Yes.
specifically stood out. Like what about Warzone 2? Is there any interest in that?
No, man. Oh shit! I did
You
play
played
Fortnite.
you played Fortnite.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played Fortnite. So Fortnite, Epic, being the creator of Unreal Engine 5 and Unreal, they upgraded Fortnite to Unreal Engine 5.1, and they included all that nanite and lumen
Mm.
technology that they showed off in all those tech demos, with all that crazy lighting and crazy like geography and stuff. And so I downloaded that. Plus, they added Geralt.
Right.
So I was like, "Fuck, okay, got to do this." Um, and so I downloaded Fortnite. I'd never played Fortnite before, and got in there and was just kind of looking around. That game looks amazing. If
Yeah,
you
it
have a
does.
a pretty decent PC, you can turn that shit all the way up and turn on Lumen, and oh my god, like I saw some comparison videos of what it looked like before and then after, and it's pretty shocking. Now, you got to take that with like the largest grain of salt because we're talking about the like probably one of the top 5 earners of any video game. So they're just rolling in money. And they also make that engine.
Right.
So of course it's going to look very good and be very well optimized
Right.
because they have unlimited money, like unlimited R&D. But it really does look fantastic, and like it's got its own like art style to it. Like it's not like hyper realism or anything like what they showed off, but it's pretty wild looking. Like when you look at it and you look at it like, man, this looks too good to be not only Fortnite but to be a video game. You know,
Could you imagine
um,
having that game as a kid?
oh man, it's great. I felt like I did when I was playing Ocarina of Time. I mean, that's
Wow.
like I remember playing Ocarina of Time or like Gran Turismo or um
Sure.
some of those other games that were like really like pushing the graphics and just being like, holy shit, man, this is like real. Like some of those like Medal of Honor games that were like, or like Call of Duty 2, that World War II game. Uh,
I had the Medal of Honor game on PC where you storm the beach of Normandy.
that's what I'm talking about.
And
Yep.
I played that game so much, man. That whole
Yeah.
the whole first scene there, and that was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I did play that. I probably won't play that too much. I want to wait around and see when Geralt hasn't launched yet, so I kind of bailed out. Um, we'll
You
wait
have to
till he
get the battle
launches, and then
pass to get Geralt.
I think I will have to. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you might have to level up. So the
Oh,
thing
fuck
it
that. I'll buy my way out of that. I'll find a way. Yeah.
you can buy
Yeah.
levels, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, my son was pretty butthurt about something because there was like a thing at level 100 and he only made it to like level 80 and the season ended. But then it was just like he
Yeah,
just
so that's something I didn't realize, and just I just don't play that game. I don't pay attention. I know they have like all the Star Wars characters, and like there's all these crossovers with all kinds of different entertainment entities, Star Wars,
sure.
Marvel, and I like opened up the store in the game, and I'm like, "All right, where's Spider-Man?" It's like, "Oh, he's not in there."
No,
Like, "Well, where's he at?" Like, I know all these people are in here. Like I see TikToks, and I know they're in there,
right.
and they're not in there. And I was talking to somebody at work. I was like, "Why? I can't find this. Like, I'm a boomer. I don't know where to go. Like, you got to tell me how do I get how do I get the damn Spider Man? Where's Spider Man? I want to be Spider Man." And
Right.
he's like, "Yeah, man, it's gone." I was like, "What do you mean it's gone?"
Like if you
Like,
wanted
no,
to
they do
buy
seasons.
Goku,
Like, you gotta buy it. Like, yeah,
yeah.
Goku. Fuck yeah, where's Goku? And he's like, "No, you got to get in when it's there." I was like, "Oh, that's fucking dirty, man. That's
Yeah.
make you spend that money. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of shady."
Cuz I had the same thing happen to me when we finished Arcane. And I was just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I heard Jinx is in this," or I've seen Jinx running around before. I'm gonna go buy Jinx. She's not there.
Yep.
Like, what is this
Yeah.
shit?
Kelsier was in Fortnite.
Kelsier was in Fortnite.
Kelsier was in Fortnite.
Oh
He's
my
not his
god.
fucking skin's not available anymore. I about died. Yeah, I wanted to buy
What's he look
Kelsier, and I
like?
wanted to buy
Oh, he's
um
wearing like a. He's wearing
Mistcloak.
yeah, Miss Cloak.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like throwing
Mm,
coins and fucking got his daggers and shit.
that's
No
cool.
no shoes on. It's fucking cool. Yeah.
Damn it.
I know, man. Like, I'm gonna buy that fucker. Like,
And you
I want
can't.
that thing. Nope, I can't. I want to give them money, and they won't take it from me.
They have their own characters. Like there are Fortnite characters.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but even like some of the characters, like a Tomato Head, like that's a huge one, and Peely, which is like the banana.
Okay.
But like those are ones that I don't think like you see them at like Target where you can buy them, but I'm not sure they're always in the store, which is very
Yeah.
weird. Like you can buy merchandise for a video game, but you can't play
Right.
as that character anymore if you're new
Right.
to it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I'll jump back into that once my boy Gary, my boy Jerry launches.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Gary
that's
Jerry.
all that I played. Yeah.
We're actually watching that right now.
Witcher.
No, Parks and Rec. I thought you were making a Parks and
Oh,
Rec
oh,
joke.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. Yeah, that's good though.
Yeah. Yeah, kids are loving it. I finished Tales of Arise. I finished that about a couple days before I hopped on a plane to go to Vegas.
Hmm.
Um
Have you seen Swingers?
Swingers. I'm sure I have.
Vince Vaughn and a young Vince Vaughn and a young John Favreau.
I don't think I've seen that.
Okay, then there's about like 40 Vegas jokes I was about to make, and now I can't
Okay.
make any of
Yeah,
them.
no. No. I mean, I've seen The Hangover. I've seen Vegas Vacation. Like,
Nope.
um, that was my third trip to Vegas. And now like with sicknesses and stuff like that. And honestly, like having a Steam Deck and just kind of hating people, I was like enjoying just going back to the room
Yep.
and hanging out, you know? Unfortunately, like going to Vegas from where we live, it's a pretty big time jump.
Right.
So it's like 8 o'clock there, and I feel like it's 11 because I'm used to it being like 11 o'clock.
Yep.
I stay at the New York, New York, and that hotel has a fucking roller coaster like wrapped around it.
Okay.
And let me tell you, those people love riding that roller coaster at night when I'm getting tucked in at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just hear,
Drink your warm milk.
woo! Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, dude. So, my gosh. But yeah, just like they're at a conference, and it's at the MGM Grand, so we had to walk there, and the conference was good. But yeah, it was just like at night, it's just, like I don't want to go to this party. I don't want to go party. I'm good. I've done the Vegas thing a couple times already. I'm good. I don't want to get sick. Even though I got sick, I'm pretty sure I caught it from the plane.
Yeah.
Um, but was trying to be good. So I was just going back. And man, I got addicted to neon white.
Oh boy.
You
Okay.
know what neon white is?
I've seen like bits and pieces of it. It looks like some kind of like level runner type thing.
So it is, yes. So it's a level
Okay.
runner. I would compare it kind of closely to like Celeste. You ever play Celeste?
No.
So Celeste is a 2D platformer, but it is a um you are making these moves, like these crazy moves and jumps to get to the end of the level, right? So think of that but in like a 3D environment.
So it's like a Super Meat Boy type of
Yes, yeah.
ish. Yeah. Okay.
Um but they add some different mechanics to it. So in this game, you're collecting these cards, and a card is like it's a pistol, but it has a secondary mechanic that gives you a double jump if you discard it. So what you can do is you can
Oh.
run and you can shoot a couple people, or a couple like blobs, because there's not like you're just monsters, or like these weird little robot things. So it might be like you need to shoot and shoot, and then this platform is too high, so you'll need to jump and then discard the card to get like a secondary jump, and then just keep running, right? Now that's simple. It gets over the top. The There are like big stomps. So you'll stomp into red barrels that'll launch you up, and then you get like a grappling hook type mechanic that's a machine gun. So then you're like, you got a da da, and then hook and fly around. I mean, it is wild. This game is addicting because one, there's not many levels that go over a minute, and most levels are like 30 seconds. So this is a very much like a, if you're like highly competitive, which I'm not, but it's like it brings back that like leaderboard. I want to beat you, Rich. I seen that you beat this level in 20 seconds. I bet I can beat it in 19. It drives that type of
Right.
competition.
Right. Okay.
So if you beat the level, you get a bronze trophy. And what that bronze trophy does is it unlocks like, here's the time to get silver, and here's the time that you get gold. So there'll be like a block of like 10 levels. I'm telling you, there are levels, Rich, that I attempted 30 times.
Oh boy. Okay.
I mean, but I was having the time of my life. Like I did not care. Cuz you just you perfect it. Like I don't know how I could do any better than that. But it's like
Right.
you can do like 10 seconds better than that on a 40-second level. I'm like, I have no idea how, but
You wanna know what
um
my earliest memory of a game like that is?
what's that?
Super Mario Brothers for the Game Boy Advance.
I was
So
like,
there was a
okay, Chris Pratt. What are you about to do here?
Nope, nope, nope. There
At
was
the
a version of
laundromat.
Super Mario, like old school Super Mario,
Yeah,
that came out for Game Boy Advance. And what you could do in that version of the game is you could link up to Game Boy Advances with the link cable.
sure.
And there was a mode that was like a run mode. And so you would literally run through 1-1 and there would be a ghost chasing you. And
Oh, okay.
you would be like, one person's Mario, one person's Luigi, and then you would literally race to the end with this fucking ghost following you. And you literally would like we would run through that hundreds like bus rides. This is what we did on the school bus, like
Oh, wow.
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, and like we had it down to like perfection, like down to the pixel of like jumping and like when to do this and when to do that and when to get like the suit or that was yeah that was like my earliest memory of something like that where you're just running the same level over and over and over and over and over and trying to like perfect it like come
Yeah,
up with different ways to make it faster.
yeah. Did you always have like the taco looking Game Boy Advance, or did you ever upgrade to like the SP, the foldable
No, so
SP?
I had the taco, and then we got the SP. The SP was amazing. Um,
Yeah, it really was.
it was fantastic. It had that like folded. It had the built-in light. You didn't need the worm light
Yeah,
anymore. Um, it yeah, and then the DS was even better. Yeah,
yeah,
that SP is probably my favorite, honestly.
yeah. That first
Um,
DS was fugly, but it
it
did get a lot
was.
better.
Yeah, the DS Lite. Yeah,
Yeah,
DS Lite was pretty good. Yeah, I did love that SP though. That SP was fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah.
I finished Neon White in about 11 hours. But man, that was some good gaming. I had a really good time with it. It gets so hard. You can only hold two cards or two different types of cards. And there might be like four or five in a level.
You played on Steam
And
or Game Pass?
on Steam. That game is not on Game Pass yet. That might show up
Okay.
at some point. Because his one of his other games is on Game Pass, which is um moving the whole around Donut County. So he made
Oh,
Donut
okay.
County. Ben Esposito, I think is his name. I
Okay.
might be wrong on that. Anyway, uh, that game it was really fun. I loved the whole like you got to shoot and then throw this one away. But like as you're throwing it away, you're probably collecting another card to use, and it's just like it's just this machine that you end up playing. There's a story to it. I have no idea because it is dumb anime bullshit. It was awful, and it was just like stills of two characters talking, but it was just like man. I mean, it was cringy. It was very very cringy.
Yeah.
To the point to where
Oh,
like if I was playing it on a plane, and it got to
right.
that part, I was just like, please please please, just fast forward through this.
Yeah.
Um, very cool. What were you about to ask?
How's it run on the deck?
Fantastic. Load times.
How are you?
If you die and you're like, okay, bloop, I gotta restart.
Right.
Within not even 2 seconds, boop, you're right back in there.
How? What do you? What is our feelings on the deck still? Like,
It's
like
it's amazing.
you fucker. God damn it.
It's
I keep
amazing.
waiting for you to like message me on Discord and be like, man, this thing ain't all that.
No,
And I'm just like, I've
it's
hovered over it a couple times.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Tales of Arise, hour and 20 minutes of battery. Neon White, pretty good. Probably
Okay.
3+ hours of battery. Symphony of War, I played that game for like an hour and it maybe ate 10%. Like,
Oh, whoa.
and that
Okay.
game just looks like a Super Nintendo game. But
Right.
um,
Right.
but I highly recommend Neon White. I mean, you gotta check this game. I don't know if you're into these kinds of games, um, but it is cool. Like I almost want to at least just show you like one of the last levels,
Oh, okay.
just to see how weird it gets, because it was fun. Um, So based on your recommendation, I did pick up Symphony of War, um, which I think came out around June of this year, and it is like a cross between Fire Emblem and a little bit of like Advance Wars.
Okay.
You can tell it's made
I
by
think
like
I think I remember seeing it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Symphony of War, the Nephilium Saga or something like that.
Yep.
Um, if people talk about it, it's just Symphony of War. Symphony of War. Um, so this game, you can tell it's made by like either a dude or like a small collection of people, and it is yeah, it's that if you can imagine what Advance Wars is like excuse me, it's like you get plopped on a map, you drop your troops, and then you're kind of guiding them around, and it's like, hey, you need to take their fort. There's treasure along the way and stuff, so collect as much as you can. There are 30 chapters. I just finished chapter 6. It took me 3 tries. I'm not the greatest at these games. I prefer hey, I'm good at grinding. So let me just grind and just like barrel over people. That's how I play Pokemon. I get them like way over leveled, and then I just Elite Four, like fuck you. Like my level 70 is like taking out everything, right?
Yep. Yep.
That's just how I prefer to play those games. Final Fantasy, level 100 characters. Let's walk into the last boss. Let's do it. Um, Symphony of War doesn't let me do that. It kind of forces
Uh-oh.
you to use your noodle a little bit. So I'm really trying to figure out, well, what is the strategy here? Because it is like rock paper scissors, except there's like 20 different units to kind of play with. And the crazy thing is like when you're building a unit, it's a 9x9 grid, so you can essentially put 9 different people on here, but each person takes up a space, and maybe you're using a horse that's 12 spaces, and you can only have 50 spaces. So it depends on like the unit that you're putting down, and then the units like work together. There are people that are like thieves that they run in, but then they attack the back row. So there's a lot of strategy of like I'll put my leader in the middle, I'll put my archers in the back, I'll put my thieves
Mm.
in the front. But you don't necessarily have to do that because there's it just depends on like what you build around your leader, because your leader can kind of dictate. Oh, and there's dragons too. So then your leader can kind of dictate like, well, I work better with archers. So I'm going to use this leader and just surround them with archers, put a couple mages in the back. Again, there's a lot of like crazy strategies to it. I don't quite understand it all. So I'm just kind of throwing myself at it. I don't know if I'll finish this game, but I'm having fun with it right now. There's just some other stuff that is coming up that I really want to play. I want to play that Warhammer game, and once I get out of quarantine, um, I want to get back to Witcher. So
Yeah.
that might be my Steam Deck game I play a little bit. And I did load up Control on there
Yeah.
just to see. You got to turn it down, but it runs okay. I could
Yeah.
see myself playing through that game on that.
Yeah.
Um, I put Chained Echoes on here as well. I played maybe an hour of that. That's a new Game Pass game that is like a love letter to 16-bit, sorry, JRPGs. Um, Reviewing really high. I don't have the time for it right now, so maybe one day I'll get back to that. But that is all for me. I'm very much looking forward to The Witcher,
Yeah.
play more Symphony of War, and maybe we can try that Vermintide game.
Dark Tide. Yeah.
Vermintide, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right.
So I am 8 episodes into Andor. Um,
Okay.
I waited for the whole thing to be out so I could just kind of blaze through it. So that's what I've been doing this week. Um, so far, I really, 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 really like it. Um, and
Okay.
kind of came into it with like really low expectations. Because This is based around a character from Rogue One
Mm.
who is Cassian Andor. He's one of the kind of main characters of Rogue One. I thought Rogue One was just okay. I know Rogue One has its like very like dedicated and passionate fan base. I think it's just okay. So when they announced they were going to make
I
a
think
whole
I think Rogue
12
One might be
episode,
one of my favorite movies of the of
okay,
Star
yeah,
Wars.
yeah, I just thought it was okay, and that's fine. Um, but yeah, and when I found out they were going to make a whole 12 episode season show
It's
about
12
this
episodes?
guy, it's 12 episodes
Wow.
about this guy from that show. I didn't really think was all that fantastic. I was like, I don't care.
Hmm.
Uh, and I was like, well, I gotta watch this. I'm kind of invested in this Star Wars stuff. Um, and right now, I think so far, 8 episodes in, I think it's the best Star Wars thing that they've done yet, like TV
Wow.
wise, Disney Plus wise. Um, at least to me.
Okay.
Now, I've been kind of struggling with how I'm going to describe this. It is not The Mandalorian. It is not a like funny superhero show. It is a
So my
very kind of
son might not care for this.
he might not.
Okay.
Might not. There's not any lightsabers.
Okay.
There's a lot of talking. There's a lot of I guess the way that I would describe it, and this is not a great probably parallel, but I would describe it as did you watch True Detective?
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine if like you know how True Detective was like an anthology series. Imagine if they made a True Detective in Star Wars. That's it's not like right on the nail on the head of what it really is, but it's close to that in my opinion. There's a lot of it leans on its actors a lot, and there's some really great acting in this show. And there's a lot of things that it's telling you, you know, through the way that it's shot. You know, it's shot very well and like very intentionally. Um, and there's some really great like just stuff that I'm inferring about like the way the shot is set up and what the characters are doing. I'm like, oh, it's trying to tell me this. Like it's trying to get this point across, and it's getting it across like really well and
Hmm.
really in a really cool way. But it's a very kind of serious story. Again, it's not like The Mandalorian at all. It's not like Obi-Wan. It's not like Boba Fett. It's very different. Um, it doesn't have a lot of known characters either. There's some if you've there's definitely some you're gonna recognize.
Hmm.
And it kind of takes place 5 years before Rogue One. So it's like
Oh.
leading up to the rebellion, basically. Um, kind of after Revenge of the Sith, kind of leading into A New Hope kind of time frame. Um, but man, it's really really good. It's really well acted, really well shot. Um, I really really like it so far. I don't know how it's going to end up, but I'm excited to talk more about it once you watch it if you watch it.
Yeah. People keep talking about like the jailbreak. There's like this three
I haven't got to
episode.
that part yet.
Okay. Yeah,
I just
that's
got
I
to the
guess
part
that's
where
like one of the
he gets
highlights.
yeah, I just got to the point where he's about to go to jail basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Hmm. Okay. What's next? Like what are they doing
Uh
next?
Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka is next. And it
Wow.
either Ahsoka or Mandalorian season 3
Oh, yeah, I
will be
think that is
next.
soon.
One of those two will be next. Yes.
Hmm. I'm actually not sure what the next Marvel show is either.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Because I know Ant-Man is the next movie, but I'm not sure what the next show is going to be. Um, is that it?
Yep.
Well, the only thing I've been watching is Chainsaw Man, and I've had that theme song stuck in my head for about the past month now. I actually now am an owner of a license of Crunchyroll.
Oh boy. Okay.
because of this show and for Spy Family. So,
You're full anime now.
yeah, I'm in it, man. It's ridiculous. That show is so wild. But again, it's still not one that I would recommend you. I'd almost say like watch the first episode. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Um, just if you're biking. Seen you've been like
Yeah.
weightlifting lately, which is cool.
Yeah,
Um,
I've got my kettlebells. I've been
hmm.
trying to get back into shape, into like bike riding shape here over the winter. That way when spring comes, I can actually ride my bike and not hurt all the time.
Right.
And enjoy it instead of
Yeah.
being miserable. So yeah, I've been riding like 3 days a week and lifting 3 days a week.
Nice.
Feels pretty good. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. If you ever like, okay, I'll check. I want to check something weird out. If you ever tell yourself that,
Yeah.
just watch the first episode. You'll at least know because it's going to get popular enough where it'll be like a mainstream thing, but not mainstream with kids because it is hyper violent.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a YouTuber that I watch that talks about a lot of books and fantasy stuff, and he was doing like reviews of like episodes of that of Chainsaw Man,
oh,
and uh he got copyright struck by the owners of Chainsaw Man,
oh
and
wow,
like got one of his like 3 strikes you're allowed to get, and he was like, well, I guess I'm not covering anime anymore, so they can
like
fuck
was he
their
showing too
tail
many
off.
clips or what?
No, he was just reviewing it.
You're not allowed to
Yeah.
review it.
I don't know. I guess he was talking about it, or like I don't know. It was kind of strange.
Weird.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, let me ask you one more question about it. Did he show anything provocative?
I didn't watch that video, but he like put up a video, like a response video. He's like, "Hey, I can't talk about that. Like, I got copyright struck. Like, I can't. I'm not doing any more Chainsaw Man coverage, or maybe any more." He was going through Berserk too, like doing
Hmm.
like reviews of Berserk,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I think I'm just gonna hold off on that for a while because he's big enough where like it's his job. He's like, I can't get like 3 strikes and then I don't have a job anymore." So
That's scary.
yeah, yeah,
All right. So I've been out,
yep,
come back, and I still have to stay away from my family, which kind of sucks. But I'm gonna go on mute for a second. Why don't you talk to me about the Game Awards? I didn't watch it.
yep. Okay, the Game Awards. So it's the lovely, well, lovingly referred to as the Keeleys for Mr. Jeff Keeley with a G, who puts those awards on. Um, he's been doing those now for like I would say like 5, 6, 7 years now, probably. Um, Probably around that time. Uh,
Sorry, I still on mute. I'm pretty sure
yep.
the Game Awards is over a decade old.
I was gonna say it's been a little while. I will say just right off the top, this year was actually fantastic. Like it was a legit award show.
Oh, okay.
Um, like they had fucking Al Pacino was there, fucking handing out awards.
All right.
Pedro Pascal was there because he's in the Last of Us and he's the Mandalorian.
Sure.
Like they pulled some big names. Like it was as big of a production as the Oscars or any other award
Wow.
show this year. It was very, very good. It was way too long. It was 2.5 hours long. Way too fucking long. Um, there was a ton of trailers, and I think that's mostly because nothing came out this year. Everything got pushed to next year.
Sure.
There's
Yeah.
all these fucking trailers. As far as the actual awards go, God of War won everything. Elden Ring won Game of the Year and like Best Direction, and then Nintendo won everything else. Like Xbox didn't win shit. Um, yeah, it was a really good show. The awards are always kind of like Splatoon 3 won Best Multiplayer over Call of Duty, uh, Multiverses, Overwatch 2. I don't know. I didn't
What
even know Splatoon 3 was out, but somehow that won
was like
Best Multiplayer.
Fortnite nominated?
No, no,
Okay.
no. I think it has to like come out that year, you know. Um,
Oh, sure.
Maybe that's one of those categories. But the big thing was the kind of new trailers or new game announcements and world premieres, you
Right.
know. And so I'm gonna run through some of these that that kind of that they show trailers for. I won't go over through all of them. Um, so Dead Cells. Dead Cells is getting a
Castlevania.
basically expansion. Yeah, Return to Castlevania, which seems like a pretty cool like crossover there. Um, Vampire Survivors coming to mobile.
That's
Let's
out now
see,
for free.
for free. Yeah,
I was playing a round of that last night. Actually, I played 2 rounds of that last night. That
yeah,
game is still
yeah.
amazing.
Returnal, the PS5 exclusive kind of shooting game, that's coming out on PC in 2023.
Oh,
So there's a PC release.
that was
Um,
like a lot of people really dug that game, didn't they?
yep,
Okay.
yep. There's a Hellboy game coming
I saw the
called Web
trailer
of
to that.
Word. That's a cool looking Hellboy game with a cool art style.
Yeah.
Uh, looks pretty cool. Let's see here. Uh, they showed off Atomic Heart, which is a kind of Doom and BioShock inspired game that's coming out in February. I think that's on all system. That might only be on PS5 actually.
No, no, no. That's coming to Game Pass.
Is it? Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So I've been watching this game for a couple years now
okay.
because it is very much Bioshock. It looks a lot like
Yes,
Bioshock. This new trailer kind of reminded me like if Wolfenstein and Bioshock kind of like hooked up, right?
yes,
Um, I'm turning against a little bit of like things looking like Bioshock, like just being weird for being weird, especially Ken Levine's new game
yep,
that was announced at the Game Awards.
yep,
Um, but I am interested to see how this Atomic Hearts plays out. That is their first video game.
yeah,
That is very ambitious
yep,
for like they're like Mundog or I can't quite remember their but I looked at their I was looking at their website earlier and yeah, they were formed like 5 years ago and looks
yep,
like a really small team. They had like a staff picture on their site and there couldn't have been 30 people on there.
yeah, yeah.
That
That looks
that
cool.
shocked me. Yeah, it does. It
That
looks
game looks
really
cool.
good.
Looks cool.
Um all right.
Let's see here. We have Replaced, which is the kind of 2D side scrolling kind of cyberpunk looking game. Kind of looks like Blade Runner,
I
maybe.
don't think I've seen that one.
That was shown at one of the like not E3 Xbox events. I think it's going to come to Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
Like launch on Game Pass. Hades 2.
Yeah.
Hades is getting a sequel. Looks like a lot more
It
Hades.
looks like a lot of Hades.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, Judas. Judas is the Ken
Oh, that's
Levine
right.
game.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's your interest
Let's
on
see.
Judas?
Um, I mean, that guy. I've liked all his other games.
That's
I'll
true.
give it a try.
Did you
Yeah,
like
I'll give it a
Infinite?
try. It was okay. It wasn't as good as
I
the
didn't
other two.
finish it,
Yeah,
but
yeah. If there's a lighthouse in Judas, I'll just stop playing. Um,
right. Yeah.
let's see. They showed off a little bit of Destiny 2 Lightfall, which I'm super pumped about. Um, oh man, they showed off another trailer for Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League.
Mm,
And they actually had Batman in there with
yeah.
Kevin Conroy's voiceover. He's going to be Batman in that game. Um, Man, it's just so crazy how Gotham Knights like came and is just gone.
Oh, it's gone.
Like
Yeah.
I remember when that game got announced and it had like the Court of Owls and all that stuff, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And
Yeah.
now nobody's talking about that game. That game is
I think
just
I was one of those people. It was
yeah,
like I liked the Court of Owls, and I was like, that would
yep,
be cool if they did it right, and they missed it.
yep. It's just gone. Um, The Last of Us Part One is coming to PC like 10 years later at this point.
I'm
I don't have
curious
any
if I'll
interest in
play
playing
that.
that again. No, I'm not playing that again.
I see. I've never
Um,
played it.
oh,
I've
um,
never played that. I've played, several Uncharted games, but I
you
did not play
know,
that one.
that is a good game. It
Okay.
is not, in my opinion, it is not the like genre defining game changing game that like a lot of like Last of Us like religious people
Right.
want to say that it is. No, no.
Gotcha.
It does. I think a lot of people build it up for the story. The gameplay is kind of, it's a Naughty Dog game.
Sure.
But a lot of people want to play it up for the story. But it's like, man, if you've ever read The Road, like, or like The Walking Dead, like this is nothing that's any better than any of those two things.
Is it
Um,
overly long? Is that a long game?
no, it's probably like 20,
That's way
22
too
hours, I'd
long, dude.
say.
That's too long.
I may be wrong.
The Last of
Yeah,
Us.
yeah, look that up. 15, 20,
Yeah, 15 hours.
18. Okay. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. Um, let's see. They announced Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That was already announced. They showed some
yeah.
gameplay. Um, so that's the second game in that series now. Still with the same character, Cal Kestis.
Mm.
There's some rumors that he's going to be in Mandalorian season 3 with that actor that plays him in the game.
Was he
Um,
just a video game character?
yes, he was created for, I think, the game.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So there's some
So
talk
that'd
that
make
he
him
will
canon.
cross over. Yeah, no, this is canon. Yeah, yeah,
This game is canon. This is
yes,
considered canon.
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Did you play that first one?
Um, man, I tried to twice and I just couldn't. I want
Mm,
to because of the story,
sure.
but I didn't like the gameplay of that game at
Oh.
all. Not at all. Um, they showed some more of that Dune Awakening game. That's like a survive open world survival MMO. Uh,
Set in Dune?
yeah, set in Dune. They showed a at one of those not E3 things. They showed like a definitely not in engine CGI trailer like for that. And now they have a new trailer that was like a pre-alpha teaser. It looks cool. I, maybe I'll get into the Dune MMO. I don't know.
uh,
Um, then they showed a little bit of Forspoken, which is
oh,
a
okay.
PS5 PC game coming out very soon. Um, can't remember the
I think there's like
release
a
date for
demo
Forspoken.
out or something.
There is a demo out. Yeah, yeah, that is coming out very soon. Let's see. Oh, I mean, it is Jeff Keighley, so he had to call up his boy Kojima.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So they announced Death Stranding 2 or
DS2.
DS2, as he likes to refer to it as.
Yeah.
Uh, the BB has hair now. Um, hey,
Uh,
guess what? That looked really weird.
did they show any game, or is it
It
all
was
was
all in engine. It was all in engine, but they didn't show any actual gameplay. So no, I don't
the?
know.
Hmm.
Yeah, don't know what that game will end up being. But Norman Reedus is back. Troy Baker's back. Uh, the lady actress Leah Sadu is back. Um,
Okay.
maybe I should I play Death? Should I? I should play Death Stranding.
Is it on PC?
I think so. Yeah, it
Death
is.
Stranding's on PC.
Yep.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
I'm pretty sure that it is.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
like a new thing, isn't it?
Not too long ago. I think that happened this year. Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
not too long ago. Let's see.
Oh yeah, that was back in October. October, yeah.
Oh, they did show Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes.
That's coming in August
Finally,
2023.
finally coming out.
Looked pretty cray. Uh, there was, let's see here.
That was all CGI. I didn't. I didn't. I want to see gameplay.
Right. Yeah.
Doom 4 or
Um,
Diablo 4 was all
yep.
CGI. I want to see
Yep.
gameplay.
Diablo
Like, come
4.
on.
Yeah. Yep. That was a pretty good little CGI trailer, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Remnant 2, Remnant from the Ashes was a third person shooter I wanted to play that
Hmm.
game but never did. That's coming out. That got announced. Let's see. There's going to be a new Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2.
Of course.
That looks pretty good.
How many Warhammer
Uh,
games were released this year?
Too many. All of them.
Gosh.
There was a this was a weird announcement. So there's some like crime. This is called Crime Boss Rocket City. This game has Michael Madsen, Danny Trejo, um, Vanilla Ice, Danny Glover, Kim Basinger, and Chuck Norris are like all characters in this game. And I think I can't remember what type of game that it is.
What is it
Um,
called?
Crime Boss Rocket City. I can't remember
Rock
what it was. If it was like a management sim or what it was. See
Rock
here.
City. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Let me
like high
check
stake
old
heist missions.
MSN.com. That's Michael Madsen.
Yeah, sure is. They had him out on stage. Man, he looks rough.
Yes, for a
Yeah,
while.
he's in
That
rough
looks
shape,
that
man.
looks just like Grand Theft Auto. Is that what they're going for? Are they making a GTA game?
Uh, I don't know if it even showed any gameplay. I don't know what. It's a first person shooter heist game. Maybe it's like Payday. Maybe I don't know.
Dude.
Um,
That comes out in March.
yeah, soon.
Wow.
Yeah. They
This
also showed in-game like gameplay of Cyberpunk 2077's Phantom Liberty DLC. It's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Idris Elba is going to be in that.
Cuz why
That
not,
looks
right?
really cool. Let's see. The From Software announced the Armor Core 6,
Mm,
which was the games they used to make before they made
yeah.
the Souls games.
And they
Um,
said, "Don't expect a Souls game out of this."
right? Yeah, yeah. They showed some Final Fantasy 16,
I watched that trailer.
which I don't care about at all.
I know. I sure did.
I yeah.
That
uh
had gameplay in it.
yeah, I did. Yeah, it did. And that was it. That was kind of the big ones. Yeah, it was a lot.
I know I mentioned
A lot of
Celeste
stuff.
earlier. They announced their sequel. I don't remember the name of the game, but it looks like it's going to be kind of like a Celeste type game.
Yeah, I don't remember what that one was. I don't see that in the list here.
I adored that game. So, when I heard that they announced their sequel, I was pretty excited. Trailer
Yeah,
looked good. So,
yeah, yeah.
all right, man. Well, what's anything like stood out to you? And we can talk
Um,
about like what we're excited about in 2023 in like another episode, but just
yeah.
curious
I
like what
mean,
stood out to you from this.
that replace game looks pretty cool. Um, Other than that, I don't get too excited about this kind of stuff anymore.
Mhm.
I Unless it's like a property or like something I'm attached to. But like some of these
Right.
new IPs, it's like it's so hard to look at them when they don't have gameplay or they don't have you don't have any attachment to it to really get excited about it because who knows what it's going to come out and what it's going to be when it comes out. You know,
Right.
so many different things could happen between now and when they come out. Um, but you know, when they do show some gameplay, like Hades 2, like I'll play that, even though I didn't ever beat Hades 1. Like that's a game I know I'll like.
Hmm.
Like that Suicide Squad game looked pretty good. I have a I'm attached to some of that. I don't know. I find it harder to get attached to like Earthblade. Earthblade is the follow up to Celeste.
Oh yes, that's
That's
right.
what
Thank
that game
you.
is called. But like Forspoken, like I don't I'm not excited about that game. Like I don't know what that game is or like
Sure.
I don't I don't know if it's tied into like some greater lore or what we'll see. Kind of a wait and see approach is what I'm moving
I
more toward. I think
I mean we
I don't know.
probably mentioned it on a couple episodes, but dude, I was like legit excited for Callisto Protocol. That
Yes,
first Dead Space game was fucking awesome. That second
yes.
Dead Space game was really good too,
That's coming out. The remake of Dead Space 1 is coming out soon. Very soon.
which is
Uh
cool. but I've played that game already. Like, I don't know if I'll play through that again. But something new, like the Callisto Protocol, I was like, fuck yeah, let's check
Yeah.
this out. But when people are like, it's not that great or different or it doesn't stand out and it doesn't make itself unique in any way, then it's just kind of like, well, I
Yeah.
guess the death animations are unskippable and super long. So you're just
Oh
watching
boy.
yourself get brutally murdered if you're terrible at the game. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm not good at video games, so that would happen a lot. Um,
Which I don't want to derail too hard, but I had somebody at work come to me and was like, "Have you ever played Elden Ring?" And I was like, "Yeah. Yeah, I played Elden Ring." Like, "What is it?" And I was like, and I know they don't know what like Dark Souls is or like any like, and so I'm having like a hard time trying to explain it. And I'm like, "Actually, you know what? I have the perfect thing to show you." So I pulled up the TikTok that we made of you fighting that
oh,
first boss where
okay.
you rolled off the fucking bridge. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is what Elden Ring is. There's this big giant bosses, and then you rolled off and he just starts laughing. And I'm like, yeah, that's Elden Ring. Yeah. That's what it is. Yep.
Yeah.
It don't give a fuck about you or any of your plans. You're just gonna
No.
die a lot.
Yeah. Like
Uh,
I hated because I didn't know anything about those games,
yeah.
and someone was just like, "Dude, you're I'm blanking on the word. You're over encumbered." Because when I'm rolling, I mean, I'm hitting
Yeah.
hard, you
Yeah, you're
know?
fat rolling. Yeah. Yeah, you're fat
Yeah.
rolling.
I
Yep.
didn't understand that. So,
Yep.
oh,
Yep.
man, I should go. You know what? If they really do release like a co-op legit, like you can
Yeah.
not that I would want to start it over, but like jump into your world. Let's just finish it. Start it
Yes.
wherever you're at. You're in that little middle section there.
Yep.
Go in together. I think that would be really cool.
Yes, that would be fantastic. I would do that
I
100%.
I'm not that interested in trying to solo my way through that game.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
some of the best, some of my favorite times in that game was fighting Mog, figuring him out, and then being summoned into other people's worlds to help fight. There would be like three of us with our big fucking blades just charging past this guy. And countless times we would lose, but every now and then you get that last hit and it's just like, ah, that's a really good feeling, man.
Yep.
That game
Yep.
fucking owns, man. It's so good. All right. You got anything else?
Um, not Game Awards wise, but AMD did
Oh, yeah. Graphics card.
AM,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
AMD did release their new graphics cards, their first two.
Okay.
So Nvidia has released the 4090 and the 4080. And now AMD has their response, which is the 7900 XTX,
Mhm.
is the better one, and the 7900 XT. I think the XTX is 999 and the XT is 899.
Oh.
Whereas the 4090 is $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
And these are MSRP numbers. They're more expensive than that if you try to buy
Right.
them because of the market. And the 4080, I think, is $1,100 or $1,200 MSRP.
Now they
Um,
got rid of their two step, right? They had an
correct.
8 and
Yeah,
a 12.
the 12 the 12 gigabyte 4080 went away. It's a 16 gigabyte now.
Oh, okay.
Which is basically the 12 gigabyte was a 4070. They'll probably launch that back as a 4070 and whatever. Um, so the AMD cards come out. Um, Digital Foundry did a very good review of those, kind of comparing it to a 4080, both those cards to a 4080. So the simplest way I can put it is the 7900 XTX, the better of the two cards, is like pretty on par with a 3090 Ti, which is
Wow.
just a little worse than a 4080 in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a few games where the 7900 XTX outperforms the 4080. Um,
A 4080?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
This is the new AMD card. It's the best AMD card you can buy. Like there's like a couple games they tested where it was slightly better. Most games it's about 20% worse.
Mm,
But it's 999 and the 4080 is like 1299.
right.
Which is way too much money. The 3080 launched at 799.
Mm-hmm.
The 4080 is 1299. Like the whole PC market is like in total shambles at the moment. Um, and the crazier thing is AMD has really been like lauded for like their aggressive pricing here over the last 3 or 4 cycles, especially the last cycle. And so you have the 7900 XTX, which is the top of the line AMD card. It's 999. It's $1,000. And the next one below that is the XT, and it's 899. So it's $900. That's $100 less. But it's it's like 20% less performance. So it's like for $100, you just buy the XTX. Like it's
Right.
too expensive, you know. Usually that's not the case. Usually it's 20% less money and a
Right.
10% hit to performance. Like it's like, oh
Right.
yeah, hell yeah, I'll just buy that XTX. I don't give a fuck about 10%.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's a pretty um sizable gap there where Digital Foundry's like, don't buy the XT,
For $100.
buy the XTX. Yeah, just it's not worth it. The ray tracing performance on those two cards is not up to par with the 40 series cards, um, which I think everybody kind of expected. The other thing you have kind of in play there is DLSS 3
Mhm.
that is on those 40 series cards. Like FSR 2.1 is now out. That'll be like the AMD cards can use, but like not all the older games have FSR. So like the XTX is definitely a good card, and it's a good price, like a good value if you can get it at a decent price.
Right.
Um, and right now, Nvidia doesn't have any like latest generation uh 40 series cards that are reasonably priced. Like the 4090 is a great card, but it's $1,500.
Sure. Yeah.
And if you compare like price to performance, it's probably worth it because it's so much more powerful than everything else. Um, but I mean, you could buy a 3080. It's they're available. You know, it's probably on par or like equal to an XT, 700 XT. I mean, it's just in a weird spot with the prices right now and also the performance. Like a lot of PC games recently have launched broken. Callisto
Right.
Protocol, Dark Tide, uh, not Midnight Suns, Gotham Knights, where like I'm watching these people on YouTube that do these reviews and performance reviews of games, PC games all the time. And they're like, I have a 4090, I have the latest Intel, best CPU you can buy. Like I have a $5,000 computer and I cannot get this game to run at 60 at 4K with ray tracing on. It will not do it. Like it is a it is a game problem. Like it
Right.
is
I was about
a
to say, what
optimization
at
problem.
that point, what is
Yeah,
the problem? And it has to be the
right.
game.
Yeah, you cannot out hardware your way out of this problem. You know,
Right.
you cannot buy your way out of this problem. And so that sucks. Like if I built like $5,000 gaming PC and I load up Dark Tide and it, if you're doing that, you're doing it because you want to go into the menu and you want to move all the sliders as far to the right as they go,
Right.
right? You want to turn all the ray tracing on. And if you do all that and the game doesn't run, what what's the point? Like
Right.
it's not. Go sell the 4090, buy a 3080 Ti and turn it all down to medium and save yourself,
Yep.
$2,000. Like the whole thing is just a mess. And some of it, I mean, a lot of it's on the developers, honestly. I mean, it's just crazy. Like the guy that reviews a lot of the stuff for Digital Foundry is like, I just don't want to review PC games anymore because I can't review them because they're fucking broken. Like the big problem with Callisto Protocol when it launched is it didn't do shader compilation up front. So normally, like when you play Call of Duty, is probably the most popular. It's like loading shaders, right?
Oh, right.
And so what that's doing is it's loading all the shaders for the game for all the different assets in the game. And so when that doesn't happen in Unreal 4, the first time you see something in the game, it has to load that shader and it causes a stutter if you don't do that pre-compilation. And so in Callisto Protocol, every time you played a new level or saw a new thing, it would stutter. And if you reloaded and went back, it wouldn't stutter because it had loaded that shader.
Oh, okay.
You could go back and play through stuff later and it would have loaded that shader and it wouldn't stutter. So, he's trying to review this game and it's just every time he sees something new in game, it stutters, you know.
Weird.
Yeah. And then you have some games um like Dark Tide that the ray tracing is just so like intensive that even on a 4090 with a 900K, which is a really like the second best Intel CPU you can buy, like it can't do it. Like it can't do it at 4K, six. Like it's barely doing it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was kind of really built up to build a PC like a few weeks ago, and now I'm just like I'm waiting. Like because if I did that, if I bought like a 3090 Ti and built like a $4,000 gaming computer and couldn't like you just I don't have 4K, so that would probably help me out a lot.
Right.
Um, but if I couldn't play a game, I'd be like, "Oh, this is stupid." You know,
Yeah. Right.
this is a waste of money. You know, and I think the problem more games have launched broken than have launched like well, and that's a bummer.
Yeah, I have this 3070 over here, and I right now I'm preferring to play on a 1280 by 720
Right?
screen on
Yeah.
my Steam Deck.
Yep.
That does not do 60, it does 30,
Yeah.
but it looks really good, and I can lay in my bed, or I can be on the couch, or I can be in a plane, I can be in the air. Don't have to be connected to Steam.
Right.
It is really nice.
Yep. Yep. So
But
yeah,
that is
maybe hold off on
crazy.
buying a graphics card for right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. The industry's kind of in a weird spot because they're just like trying to push this hardware, and it's like, well, what am I gonna play though? I mean, it will Starfield push that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's happening is you have all these cross-gen games. God of War was a PS4 game first
Right.
and a PS5 game second. And now you're starting to see like some of these trailers that we talked about were PS5, Xbox Series X only. Like
I
they
mean, how
weren't
many games
cross-gen.
have been PS5 only?
Just a handful. I think Returnal one of those.
Ratchet and Clank,
Ratchet and Clank was one. There's only been a couple.
but now like them being a couple years in the industry, getting more comfortable with like this
Yeah.
hardware. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like Xbox's strategy though is like you got to support the old one still.
Yep.
Where I think Sony will move forward first. Oh, and that was another thing. Is like games are now $70.
Yep.
That's it. Which
Yep.
we seen it coming. It makes the value of Game Pass even that much more, even though that'll go up at some point.
Yep.
But yeah. So if you had to build, you think you would do AMD, or you think you'd go for an Nvidia
I
card?
would do Nvidia. I would do Nvidia purely for DLSS. DLSS kind of makes some of those performance problems go away.
Hmm.
That like if you don't have a great CPU or it can help run games better. It's
Right.
also supported in way more games than FSR is
Yeah.
or ESSX is on Intel's GPUs. Um, yeah, and then DLSS is not going away. It's going to continue to be a thing, especially as new games are developed. Using DLSS 3, all that stuff. Like I would go NVIDIA. I I mean, right now the 3080 is probably the best like price to performance. Maybe a 3080 Ti if you could get it really cheap.
Right.
That's probably like the best price to performance card you could buy on the Nvidia side, I would say. And then
Is
get
the
like a
T? Is the Ti over 1,000?
Oh boy, I'd have to look.
I'm pulling it up. Yeah, it's about
3080
1,200 right
Ti.
now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. And I
That
think a
thing's a
3080 is
beast.
probably around 1,000 right now. I would say, if I had to guess. You can get them for $700, 750. Yeah,
What about a 3070 Ti? That's what I'm rocking in this thing. Yeah, they're about 700.
yeah, yeah. The 30. Yeah, if I was gonna, I would probably go higher than a 3080 personally because I'm willing to spend more money to try to get a little ahead of the curve. But a 3080 would last you a long time, especially if
Yeah,
you're not doing 4K. If you're at 1080p or if you're at 1440p, um, a 3080 would last you a long time if you're not going to
yeah,
upgrade monitors. If you're at 4K and you want to run high frame rate, you're committed to you got to get a 3080 Ti or above,
right,
or the 3090 or above, and then you're going to be committed to buying a graphics card every 2 or 3 years at that point, I would say.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cool. What else you got? Anything else?
Nope. That's all I've got.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching, for listening tonight. If you want to check out any of our past shows, you can go to bitpunch.tech. You can always send us an email at emails@bitpunch.tech. You can follow us on Twitch and Twitter at BitPunch. You can check out our archive streams on our YouTube channel at /user/BitPunch. Check out our newsletter at bitpunch.substack.com. All of these links can be found on our website at bitpunch.tech. That is going to do it for us tonight. I think our next episode, we're going to kind of highlight the year, and probably after that, we will talk about some of the stuff that we're looking forward to. That might be the episode after that, though. We'll see. That'll be right before the new year, man. New year is coming up.
Yeah.
That is crazy. But again, thank you all so much for listening. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
And we will be back in a couple weeks. Have a good night.